some really good deals for starting collectors.
Well, we tried. Here we go. Yeah. It's going and that's going, and things look like they're working right. We got volume and all that good stuff. So mostly just talking about Nanjing today.
Ah, okay. Cool. No, that's great. Yeah.
Feel free to chime in with any observations or questions.
I may just go ooh ah a lot.
I certainly need your help to fill the air.
You got it.
It's fair enough. It's hard impossible to do both. Talk and control the same at the same time.
Oh, for sure.
So anyway, I guess it's time. We will go ahead and say welcome everybody to another edition of Minerals Live.
Welcome.
Welcome. Today we'll be discussing the 2025 China International Mineral and Gem Exhibition in Nanjing, China.
So that was an incredible specimen. Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's huge too.
Is it Uruguayan?
Yes. Well, yeah. Either that or Brazilian. I'm pretty sure it's Uruguayan.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. It's like 3 feet across.
Jesus.
It's huge. And the poster child for the show this year.
Was it? And it was there?
Oh, yeah. It was there.
Nice.
We'll get to that here pretty quick.
I'm excited.
Yeah. So let me get back to where I was at. There.
Yeah.
We can flash that up again.
Wow.
That's the title page, yeah. I forgot. He has a special name for it, and I hate to admit I've forgotten it.
You know, it almost reminds me of like an oil lamp. It's kind of got that lamp look, and it's got that flame on the right side. But
right.
Geez, that's amazing.
Yep. And like I said, it was on display. But we can just go right to the picture, I guess. This is it. Oop, no, that's not it. That's dead air. There we go. This is it at the show. And pretty amazingly, they moved it fast because Jen and I, our manager of our China office, East Asian operations, she and I went over to his place. Unfortunately, it's a long story to short, is we had to borrow his minerals for our exhibition, our booth this year because of the tariff situation, so we didn't make our normal shipment. So I'm going to move that over here. I'm getting a little vibration. I thought I turned that off. And it was still in his museum at his house.
Wow.
The day before the show started.
Oh, goodness.
It was like, holy cow, they got that move fast.
No kidding.
Yeah,
and it's interesting for those of you who see pieces that we show here on our lives, and for those of you who go out to shows. For those of you who have pieces that may appear in magazines, you'll notice that first picture on the magazine looked a much more intense purple than you were seeing it in the case. Well, when you have warm pieces like that, the lighting is usually, you want the lower temperature lighting, and in a case like this, and was there a lot of sunlight in this room too?
A fair amount of light, and it was bright, and my camera, there was glass in front, so it was getting a lot of reflection.
You're getting a lot of blue light,
right? Yeah,
you're getting a lot of blue light there. So I'm sure in the right display situations, you get amazing. that cover that cover picture color there. So lighting's important. It's a fun area of the hobby to research.
Absolutely. Anyway, we'll go back to the introduction. Nanjing. It is a beautiful city. I got to tell you, folks. If there's any chance at all you can put this into your schedule for 2026, highly recommend it. The city is beautiful. In the middle of May, the weather is very nice, generally cool. There was only one kind of warm, muggy night. The bugs aren't out yet, and it's just extremely pleasant place to be. Restaurants are great, and the view is beautiful. This is from our hotel room, so $130 a night Holiday Inn room. With a balcony city view.
Wow.
Yeah. It's okay. Got to tell you.
Very nice.
Yep.
The water we were seeing there, it's coastal, isn't it? Like
it's a lake.
Salt water.
It's
lake.
That's a lake.
It's lake. Okay.
It's Xuanwu Lake. It's a big park. You can see the dome there. They have concerts there frequently. A couple of nights I was serenaded to sleep, and it's really nice. So, and the hall, I'll show you in a little bit. The exhibition hall is only about 500 meters down the road from this spot. So, hate to give up my private knowledge of this hotel, but this is really the place to stay.
Nice.
For the price and convenience to the hall. You don't have to take a cab. You don't have to get in the subway. You can just walk right down in 10 minutes, and you're at the hall.
Awesome.
So, anywho, in the hall, this was our booth this year.
Is that Jen striking a pose there?
That is Jen striking a pose.
Love
and
it.
Mr. Sutton sitting there supervising, as he does all too well.
Nice.
Yep. Yep. So our booth really came out great this year. Jen did a great job in the design, and everything looked great. Unfortunately, all the minerals you see there in the cases are Mr. Pong's, the show promoter. We were unable to bring our own, but yeah, next year hopefully everything smooths out.
I'm seeing a lot of red in those cases.
Yeah, well, these are the roto slices you can see in the far right of the 3 cases you see facing us.
Yeah,
that's Jen's roto slices.
Oh, she must have been so proud.
Yeah, she was.
That is amazing.
Yeah, she got those from us at the Denver show last year, and to help fill the cases, she allowed us to put them on exhibit at the show, and they look great. They got a lot of comments.
Sweet.
Yep.
I'm so happy for her.
Yep. And this is opening day. Well, actually, before opening, but we're opening Friday. You can see they finally got the carpet in around. Everything's smoothed out and looking good. So it was nice. Booth looked great. Looking out across the intro of the hall, yeah, they had the Teletubbies there, or whatever these 2 characters are. And then there's these interesting people with the cameras on their head. They were there to promote their video company. Let me see if I can cue this one up. Let's see, they walking around.
Hello, Ida, how are you?
That was working with the show promoter.
These guys are great.
Get all that documented, and they did a great job.
Hello, Ida, how are you?
I'm also taking the pictures about that.
These guys are great.
Videos seem to really freak out the. Hopefully that doesn't jitter things up too much, because I got a couple other little videos to show here as we move along. The your question about where the big purple thing was.
Yeah.
This was the special exhibit booth for this year's show, and the theme was the Purple Nebula.
Purple Nebula.
And how exotic, the color purple is, and how rare the dyes were back in the ancient days, and how they had to crush all the shells. Or you could probably help with that.
Purple Murex.
The Murex, right?
The Murex, the dye from like actual purple Murex, I think, is still, maybe not in the last couple of months, but as of last year, I think it was still more expensive by weight than gold.
Wow.
Because it takes like 10,000 plus to make like 1 ounce.
Right.
That was part of the reason you got in trouble for, if you
If
had
you were
something
wearing it.
purple, because it was so expensive. It's like, seeing somebody who's a peasant walking around with like, a king's ransom on him. Is like, where did you get that?
Right. It's got a little bit of a red flag.
Yeah.
Pardon my leaning. I got to look at my video queuing system here.
Just out of curiosity, Purple Nebula, was Nebula just an exciting
Yeah.
word to use?
Yeah.
Or,
Well, this was the...
is there an actual Purple Nebula in the sky?
This is the first room, and it was kind of exotic with stars on the sky and everything, and lots of cases with purple rocks and whatnot. They had this big dude in there.
Nice.
Yeah, not quite as nice as the cover piece, but it's a nice one.
Still pretty impressive.
And then these kunzites and lots of other purple things. There were some quartzes and other whatnot. And then after this first room, you walked out into like a patio area, and then it had these purple wall plaques and other things you could do with the color purple in your landscaping and whatnot. I didn't take a picture of that. Probably should have, but didn't excite me enough at the time. And then you can see that doorway at the end with the 2 drapes.
Yeah.
That's where the purple guy was. This guy was in there.
Man, that's just incredible.
Yeah. And then after you walked through that, you came out into another room with all this kind of historic minerals with lots of really old labels and the old antique furniture, and it was pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I think the regular folk, it's free to get into the hall. Everything was free to the citizens of China to walk in or anywhere. Walk in and see the exhibition. But this special exhibit cost them $10 to walk through.
Okay.
For $20, you get a gift bag.
So, if I remember correctly, the show is gemstones, jewelry, minerals, all those things,
right.
Fossils. With that, do you also wind up with any antique dealers set up there?
No, not furniture.
Okay, but I mean, like, I'm thinking like antique, like art objects, things like
mining
that.
artifacts and other things like that. I didn't see any at this show. I heard tale that there were some at the CIMGE show.
Okay.
few 100 kilometers away, but not at this show. So, but it was good. And then going back, let's see, that's that. And here is our fearless leader at the opening ceremony. You can see 2 rows back and 1 chair to the left is our friend Graham Sutton. He was there as well. He was a dignitary there for some reason. No, they like him there. What can I say? He's got a long history. Gosh, he's doing business for us there 20 years ago. So real trailblazer. But opening ceremony was very nice. I didn't get to go, but Brian said it was nice. And there was Brian out front of the exhibition hall with Brian Swoboda.
Brian squared.
Yep. And Brian gave a nice talk during the open ceremony. It was very well received. And then here in our booth, some of the dignitaries came over for a photo op. So,
nice. And Brian's talk Chinese and English?
He did well, yes. He did some parts in Chinese. He memorized, and then the rest of it was in English. Then
nice.
Jen was there to translate. They had the little earpiece translator things.
Oh, cool.
So everybody in the audience could sit there. I don't know if you can see that with Brian here. You can kind of see the wire there running.
Yeah.
So everybody had a wire. So because they had very mixed bag of nationalities there, people from all over the world giving talks. So
cool.
They had to have the auto translator. I don't know if it was AI generated, if there were actual people behind the scenes doing the translation, but it was very, very cool.
Very nice.
Yep. From our booth, you could see the light show they were putting on. It was pretty exotic. They like light shows over there.
Cool.
Yep. Oh, speaking of which, back to our
that's
hotel.
That's where all the fireworks came from, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Indeed. One night I got back to my room and did a little quick video. I don't know how well this will play. But you can see that this is looking out in front of our hotel room. And then just down the street, you can see there's the hall right there with the red lights.
Oh my gosh.
Panning.
That's huge.
Yeah. Oh, the exhibition hall is huge. And he had the first floor pretty well filled out.
The city's so beautiful. You've got all the lights. The architecture looks amazing, and there's plenty of greenery too.
Oh yeah, no, this is a lush part of the country for sure.
Nice.
Absolutely. And then they gave you that, and then like I said about the lights, this is the front of our hotel room. They like a couple hours a night they run these things. They're at Smith. Got the white green thing going on for Holiday Inn. It's pretty cool. And I didn't get the still picture of it, but it's a nice hotel. If you go to the Holiday Inn website, you can easily book a room. There's no problem. And highly recommend it, like I said. And that's my price there was $130 on average for 8 nights, $133.50 with breakfast.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it was all you could eat breakfast.
That's less than what I'm getting on average just going around the country.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep. Way less. And believe me, the breakfast was way better than you'd get at a Holiday Inn Express or a Hampton Inn or anything like that.
I love my Hiltons, but boy, the steamed scrambled eggs, not my favorite.
Don't go there. I don't want to bring on a lawsuit. So moving on.
Fair enough.
Anyway, and then we'll just take you on a quick tour around the rest of the hall. This was a booth set up for Chinese collectors to bring in, and it was kind of a special exhibit for them. They could bring in their rock and put it in a case, and it was a nice
part
feature.
Of the show.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Mustafa was our neighbor there, Fine Art Minerals. Had a really nice display, beautiful things. And then just kind of going down the aisle, I don't know who these people were. I'm sure Graham could tell you, but everything is really nicely done there.
Yeah.
These trade shows, they really put a lot of effort in to making a great presentation. I mean, this is high-end trade show stuff. Unfortunately, you just don't see it here because of the expense these booths would cost to create for a few days show.
No,
in America.
If you were seeing this kind of internal structure, like the booth setups,
right.
I would be expecting this to be like Rolls-Royce or Bitcoin or Ferrari or something like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, even there, this is still $10,000 to $15,000 build out for one of these booths, plus the space. Yeah. So, anyway, and then you wander back a little bit from there. You get into the smaller booths, the 3x3 meter dealers, where lots of good deals were to be had.
Nice. At bigger and smaller, especially smaller club shows and things like that, in the U.S., you get a lot of local diggers, smaller companies where you're getting it directly from the miners or folks who have got out there. Do you get a lot of that at this show?
They wander around and want to show you stuff, but maybe they were like way back in the C section, and I just didn't see them because I didn't have a whole lot of time to wander around, but not so much.
Just from my gemstone interest, did you see much in the way of pearl?
Oh, there were, definitely.
I would expect a lot of pearl.
And where am I going back to here? No, is this one? Yeah, this is a jewelry dealer. They had a lot of jade and other. I'm sure they probably had pearls in there as well.
Ooh, yeah, jade would be definitely something I'd be looking for there.
So
and carvings.
All of the above were there. Just pretty much everything you could want were there, except for microscopes and things of that nature that you're asking about earlier.
Which is interesting because there's a lot of those, like a lot of the gemological tools are actually made there. Microscopes and things like that.
Nowadays, back in the real antique days, they were European.
Yeah. Talking about the antiques, yes.
So, yep.
Cool.
Yep. And then finally, at the end, Brian had already left, but where are we at here? I can scroll around. It takes me a minute. We had our end of the show celebration dinner with Jen and her husband, Xiaowei. It was very good. Hot pot deal. And then
I love hot pot.
You can't see it, but the spicy beef dish and everything. That was really good. Yep. And then just to put a dig, Jen usually likes to watch the show. The show promoter wanted to make sure that Brian was taken care of as far as a vehicle and space in it, because Brian's a big guy, 6'5" or whatever, and getting into the little cabs over there isn't so easy. So he borrowed a Suburban from one of his friends, Mr. Lee, over there, so that Brian could ride around in comfort. And this is probably the only Chevy Suburban in half of China. I mean, this thing is like a tank over there. It's a boat. Yeah. If you compare, you go down the street, even there's some Range Rovers and things there. This is like half again, even bigger than that. So Jen stopped in front of the window. You can see her there and taking a picture of herself. She loved driving this thing around.
So how many phone books was she sitting on in that picture?
No, well, the seat's adjustable. Okay. And she managed to get it around town, no problem. She was good in it. I was impressed with her driving skill. So, anyway, it's a great show, folks. There was one little bit of misinformation at the Tucson show we probably should elaborate on about the need for a visa. They had a big meeting at the Tucson show touting about how you're not going to need a visa if you stay less than 10 days. That turned out to be wrong. So if you're thinking about going next year, I would start, February, March, April, trying to get a visa, especially probably by March, actually. Chinese tourist visas aren't that hard to come by. They give them to you for 10 years. You get it. You go through the process once, and you'll probably never need one again. So it's well worth the effort.
Cool.
Yep. So highly recommend it.
Oh, it looks like a great show. No, I would love to go there next year if we can afford to have everybody out of the office.
That's the only issue, because road trips and then having 2 lumps on a log there. Oh yeah. I mean, my Chinese skills are probably a little bit ahead of yours, but they're still not capable.
Way ahead of mine. Yeah.
And I know how to get around. So, but Graham's there. We have Jen there, and then Brian there. So it's having too many people there. It's not cheap to get there. I will admit that. You're probably looking at $4,000 or $5,000 investment just to get there, even with a $130 a night hotel room and whatnot. So
that makes sense. Now we've got those crates, so if they could just ship me over in the crate.
We'll give you a little water bottle and a bucket. So it would be ugly.
No next day air?
No.
Okay.
No.
Never mind.
The air freight takes 5 or 6 days, and I don't know, it could get ugly. It really could. So if anybody has any questions about the CIMGE exhibition, please, mineralsandcollectorsedge.com, Richard at collectorsedge.com, or Christopher at collectorsedge.com, any of the above, let us know. The dates are going to be pretty much the same next year, middle of May, so if you have kids, it's not the most convenient. Unfortunately, both my wife and I couldn't go this year because of that. But so it's well worth it.
Cool. Looked like a great show.
It's a lot of fun, and the nightlife there is amazing. I didn't want to steal too many pictures off the internet. Nanjing is a beautiful city, and the nightlife there is wonderful. Just go walking around downtown, and it's amazing. Restaurants are all wonderful. You're safe. There's no issues with safety there at all.
A lot of museums and other cultural things in the area if you want to extend your stay to really make it, get the best bang for your buck for going over. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's, what was it, like 300 kilometers from from Shanghai. So it's
nice.
Quick train ride down to Shanghai, and actually that's probably the easiest place to fly into. Beijing isn't too bad either. You can get a connection pretty easy down in Nanjing, and the train system is amazing. You get around no problem.
Very nice.
Yep. There were a couple of booths, or at least one I really found in particularly wonderful. I need to go back and make sure I highlight it. Is this one? I thought this was really well done. This was done by the Nanjing Institute of Geology and Paleontology. Although the little critters and whatnot, it's not too easy to zoom in, but you can see all the little cutouts of the historic sea creatures, trilobites, and other weird sea creatures and dinosaurs and other things. It was a lot of fun. It was really well done.
It looks like a little schoolroom.
It does. It does. Nicer than most, but it is really well done. And it just the show itself, it's wonderful. I don't want to rattle on too much about that. I'll sound like I'm trying to sell it, but
well, no, that's awesome. I mean, you getting insight on a show like that is not only valuable for not being able to go, but for do I really want to go to something like that? And getting to see this much of it really helps people make their minds. So thanks for getting all the pictures.
Sure. Yeah. And Brian Swoboda and Blue Cat Productions, I think he's doing several postings on the show, and has in the past. I know he did last year, and some other. There weren't too many international dealers, unfortunately. It was pretty much Mustafa and us, and that was pretty much it.
I know Graham was giving Brian Swoboda a run for his money on posting online videos and stuff this year.
And Mustafa was posting like crazy and whatnot. So it was a really, really good show. And last time I'll say it, well worth your effort. You can stay 4 or 5 days in Nanjing and then go around, see some of the other sites, Shanghai, Nanjing, Beijing, and then Xi'an. You got to go see the terracotta soldiers there.
Ooh, that would be cool.
So yeah.
And you did a really great job of showing like the size, but even to really get an idea, it's like 500 plus dealers, or even more than that.
That sounds about right. I don't know exactly, but that's about right. Because once you go back into where were we? I gotta find the right slide here. Sorry, folks. No. Hello. Where am I at here? Why am I?
I mean, you're basically in that one show. You're getting like vendor wise, you're getting close to like Tucson and Denver numbers.
Oh yeah, no, it's here's the one. Yeah, there's the picture I was trying to find. I mean, you just go down all the way to the other end of the hall, and all these little 3x3 meter booths. It's impressive. There's a lot of dealers selling a lot of different things. Cool. And like I say, once you get way back there, it's a little like the main show at Tucson, where it's a lot of fake jewelry and I don't want to say fake, but imitation jewelry. I guess that's just a better way to put it. Costume jewelry. Thank you. From the JTV expert here.
Fashion jewelry.
Yes, and other low end minerals. Nice. Touristy type rock shop type
decorators.
Stuff. Yeah, decorators. Lots of interesting stuff. So,
tchotchkes.
So it's great. Anyway.
Cool.
Enough
Thanks again.
said.
Exciting show.
It is.
Exciting report on that.
It is. Nice. So, anyway, you just had a wonderful road trip. You just got back.
Yeah. So while Richard was gallivanting around the world, I was gallivanting around the eastern U.S. Great trip. Saw lots of great folks. Brought back a lot of great rocks. So we're going to have a lot wonderful new things on the website coming up very soon. And then back in July, I'll be going back out on the road again, trying to head up north more this time. I didn't get too far up north this last time, but I'll definitely be circling around up there on this trip. And it was folks are still excited about specimens. Saw some new collections, which is just one of the best parts of our job, is getting to see what people are collecting. Actually helped a couple of folks out with some displays.
Nice.
Which was a lot of fun because, there's a lot of back and forth learning about how people collect and what's important to them there. Overall, just a great trip.
Cool. Very fun. And you were out for a while.
Yeah, I was out for 4 weeks this time. That was a lot. Logistically, this one was a little challenging. It was just apparently a time of the year everybody was really busy doing a lot of things, so I had to kind of work around some schedules on the fly, so there was a little bit of redirecting and last-minute filling of holes and whatnot. So, it happens. If I wind up with free time and I'm within a state of you, I may just give you a call and say, hey, if you're available. I had a cancellation.
And not to say that you're a cancellation-only stop. If you just need to get a hold of us.
Please.
mineralsofcollectorsedge.com. Give us a month or two advance notice, and we can definitely work you into the route.
Absolutely, and it especially helps if you want us to come visit you, if you can give us an idea of what it is that you're interested in, so that we, have something that you definitely want to see on the van. That helps.
Absolutely. And I'll be on my way back west about the 1st of August for a quick trip. I'm going to have to make it really quick because Denver show is really early this year, the 4th to the 7th or something like that of September. So gotta get back, gotta get ready for the Denver show. So.
And talking about summer and shows, it's sounding like the Springfield show might be pretty exciting.
Absolutely, with Joel and the Houston Museum doing the special exhibit there. They got all new cases. I think they got all new Graham cases.
Oh my gosh!
So it's if you haven't been to Springfield in a while, this is the year to go back for sure.
So if you haven't been to the Springfield show, the thing that made my jaw drop when I first heard about this, one of the features of the Springfield show is they have one person come in or.
Sometimes a group.
Come in to do the display, and it's 52 cases.
Yeah, I don't know how many cases they're going to have now that they got all new ones.
Oh, fair enough. So, but it was 52 cases.
Little wooden box type things you see.
It was an impressive amount, and I've there have been some individual collectors. I know Carolyn in Manchester did an incredible one. Anna did the quartz a couple of years ago. I think Jim Gebel did it one time.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's amazing to see. It's just an amazing show for the display. You have one person just seeing the depth of a collection like that. That if you visited these folks in their own homes, you wouldn't see that depth of their collections almost certainly. So great show to visit if you're going to be up in Springfield in August.
Absolutely. And I can't remember the exact dates offhand, but I think it's about the second week of August. Second weekend. So, and I'm sure if you looked it up, it's pretty easy on the internet to find out this kind of information.
Indeed.
And like I said, I'm going to be out the first 2 weeks of August out west. So if anybody out there wants me to swing by, we're going to, like Christopher just said, we're going to have a lot of new material to debut. And so from July, August, September at the Denver show, you definitely want to swing in and give us a visit.
For sure.
I guess that brings us to the place where we shamelessly sell rocks, unless you got anything else you want to...
One last thing, if you don't have any plans for the middle of June, coming up here in a couple of weeks, there's the Friends of Mineralogy Colorado Symposium. It's going to be at the Colorado School of Mines on June 12th through the 15th. The 12th and 13th are going to be mostly field trips. Evening of the 13th, there'll be a great reception and auction at the Mines Museum of Earth Science at the Colorado School of Mines, and then the presentations will be on the 13th and 14th. We've got a great lineup of speakers on the theme of American mineral specimen mines, specifically looking for where the miners were going in and looking specifically for specimens, not just, an ore mine from which specimens happen to be found.
Right.
And we're getting, the actual folks who did the digging and the mine running coming out for that.
Very fun.
From all over, from the Little 3 mine over in California up to the Mount Mica, up on the East Coast and everywhere in between. It'll be a great show. And then right after the Sunday presentation, there's Micro Mounters, a little event for about 4 hours as well. So a lot of things going on.
Very cool. Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Pretty easy to find places to stay for folks.
We're up in Golden, Colorado. There's a Hilton right down the street from us that I've stayed at before when I was moving out here. It's really good. So plenty of good places to stay.
Right.
A lot of great restaurants.
Right.
And if you're gonna extend your weekend out a little bit more, Colorado is absolutely beautiful this time of year. Lots of the things to do in Golden, Boulder. Go down and see Garden of the Gods down in the south. Tons of things to do out here in the summer.
Absolutely. Red Rocks is a lot closer than the Garden of the Gods.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I haven't been to Red Rocks yet.
Never?
No.
Really? Oh my gosh.
I keep driving around the country. I never get to see Colorado.
You got to just look at their schedule and pick a concert to go to. It has a reputation for a reason. It's a fantastic place.
For sure.
Anyway, as long as it doesn't rain on you.
Well, boy, this last week.
Yeah, well, this is the rainy time of year, folks.
Yes.
So.
That, and I think I also dragged all of the pollen from the southern states back up to Colorado with me.
Great.
Yeah. A lot of pollen this year.
Yeah, it was a wet year. It's even that way in Denver, so, yeah. Anyway, well, anything else you'd like to... We're ready to go with the rocks?
Yes.
Cool. Well, with no further ado, then, we will go to specimen number 1 when it comes around a little bit on the turntable here. Here we go. That's good enough.
I like this one.
Yeah, this is a very cool piece. Beautiful dioptase. Tsumeb mine on calcite. The one caveat, it looks like it was a little, I would say, over-cleaned a little bit. The calcite has melted just a tad. So... the calcite aren't quite as sharp as they could be, but the dioptases are beautiful. It's really a really nice piece.
Contrast is really good. You don't see isolated dioptases much.
Right, it's true. Usually there is a far denser coating over the calcite.
Yep.
For sure. Nice piece. This one measures in at 7 by 6 by 5.2 centimeters, and the largest dioptase is about 9 millimeters. I couldn't quite say a centimeter, and I just wanted to hedge on the smaller side, but there's a couple on there that really look like about a centimeter.
Always worthwhile.
Yep. So we will go back, give you a little turntable time. Yeah, so as you can see, it's got a little coverage on the backside of the specimen as well.
Yeah, no, the color looks just incredible. The colors showing in person just so much nicer.
You're right. Well,
it looks good on the video, but it's a lot more vivid in person.
That shade of green is really hard for a camera lens for some reason.
It may be the hardest. Yeah. Bluish greens are the worst.
Yeah. But this is a beautiful piece for the price. It's a nice small cabinet-sized specimen, good coverage, like we were saying. And let me get here. So many pictures, I got to really scroll around a lot to get to where I'm going. It is only
$12.25.
There you go. Shipped to your door, $1,225, and I think this is the most expensive piece on the show today. So I found a lot of good values. These are all new specimens we got from a collector out in California, Randy Parnagian. Got a lot of great, nice, affordable specimens from him, and these will probably mostly be available on our website, but at our show as well, we'll probably sprinkle in a few, and we'll see if we're able to do another wholesale show out at our warehouse this September. That's still kind of up in the air with other projects the company has going on.
Yep, a lot of these longtime collectors have just found some great deals on pieces like this.
Right. Well, gosh,
back in the day.
Yeah, Randy's been a collector since the 70s, I want to say. So
nice.
Yeah, not to date him. He's a young man, for sure. But no, he's the depth and variety in his collection is amazing.
Some of the best grapes in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I love grapes.
He grows table grapes, as well as some other things, but they're awesome. He always sends back a case of grapes for the crew when I visit him. So.
And they
Really
vanish
good.
quickly.
They do indeed. Yep. All right. That'll bring us to specimen number dos.
So number dos. So this is one of the just best blues you can find in the world. I mean, you look at artists who paint, who try to bring the world to life for us. In paints, and this is the kind of stuff that they use to make the paints with. Lazurite. This one from Afghanistan, and I'm not quite sure what the locality is. Is that Salisong?
Yeah, Salisong.
Salisong.
And I'm probably grossly mispronouncing it as well.
Oh,
but that's what I always say.
That's all right. And then, so size on this one, 7 by 8.5 by 6.5. So not too dissimilar in size to the last piece, but significantly larger crystal at up to 3 centimeters on the edge there. Absolutely beautiful. So Lazurite, or Lazurite and Huine, you sometimes see kind of grown together. They're all kind of in that sodalite group,
right?
With these really beautiful crystals. Sometimes you see a little bit of pseudomorphism going on. Here we've got it growing in marble, and there's a little bit of marble growing on it as well. So you've got a nice unaltered crystal there. A great crystal shape, absolutely stunning, and just like you can't really get much of a better blue than that in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
So.
No, this is a great specimen. And again, for full disclosure, there are some saw marks and whatnot on it. Our lab isn't doing too much to these as they're passing through. If you would like the saw marks and whatnot roughed up, it'd be just a slight extra charge. But we could do that for you.
Nice.
Yep. And this specimen today is just $840.
Very nice, and would bookend very well with the calcite in the green and the marble in the blue. You'd have really nice bookend to start a shelf with these two specimens.
The dioptase, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I think the whole set for tonight, the 6 specimens we have here, would go great.
Almost like you planned it.
No, maybe. But,
Richard always picks great stuff. I've actually personally bought at least 1, if not 2, specimens. I give you guys months to pick these, but if you sit on them for too long, I will pick up some of these myself.
Absolutely. We can't help ourselves.
No.
Yep. And specimen number 3.
Oh, yes. Rhodonite with sphalerite from San Martin Mine in Peru. A lot of great stuff from Peru.
Right.
Rhodochrosite, rhodonite, fluorite, world-class pyrite. Some of the most gorgeous pyrite I have ever seen. Here you have very fine-bladed rhodonites crystals on this sphalerite, which you've got some really great luster, of course, with sphalerite, keeping it a similar size from the other two. So again, these are all going to look great together on your shelf at 6.5 centimeters by 8 by 3 centimeters. And the rhodonite crystals, the longer ones, are going to be up to 1 centimeter. But what you're really looking at here is just absolutely outstanding crystallization. Just really beautiful fine blades of the rhodonite with great color. Camera's doing a pretty good job here, but I would say the still picture is definitely closer to the true color. It's a nice red. Rhodonite, for those of you who don't know, looks very similar to rhodochrosite and can be a gem mineral as well, but is its own distinct variety. Gets a little confusing because you get rhodochrosite, rhodonite, rhodolite garnets. There's so many different, and of course the rhodo part is red. So it works its way into a lot of mineral names.
Right. There's just a little silica in this one, in the rhodonite, compared to rhodochrosite.
Yes.
So, very nice piece. It does have a little contacting here and there, but it's a great display specimen. And for $280, you just can't go wrong with this one.
You cannot.
Did you already give the size and everything on that?
I did.
Yeah, great.
Yes.
I was busy digging for stands and whatnot. I forgot to prepare the stands for the show. I was too busy trying to get the videos converted from MP4s to MOVs so we could show them on the show. The last minute.
And so
always a curveball in these things. Sorry.
Absolutely. And so for those of you who are newer collectors, which some of you may be very interested in these specimens, they're great size. People collect in all sorts of different sizes. Thumbnails, which are basically 2 centimeters or less. You're looking at miniatures that kind of fall in between, like the thumbnail size up to these small cabinet sizes, which are more like 5 to 7 centimeters, maybe pushing up towards 8, and then larger than that, you're looking at cabinet sizes. It's a really good size to start collecting in, a small cabinet. A lot of folks really start more in the thumbnail and the miniature range when you're getting a good quality specimen. So having a good range of specimens in a size like this, great way to start a collection.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And vivid colors are one of the things as you start collecting. You're going to want those vivid colors in there.
Right.
So great selection you've got for us today.
Yep.
Yeah.
But never forget, you got to have a couple of black ones and a couple of white ones, and nice white quartz and a shoral and whatnot.
Got to rest the eyes.
Yeah. It all works. Creates a palette in your display case.
Indeed.
Yep. So anyway, specimen number 4, I believe we're on now.
Yeah.
Get away from us. There we go. Love these.
Yes, this was an early variety for me. This was when I first started collecting spherical minerals. It was actually one of the first focuses for my collecting. And this was back in about 2017. I was at one of the sideshows in Denver. It was the one that was in that hotel where Steve Ulatowski used to set up with New Era Gems.
Okay.
They had a few people inside the hotel and some folks out in the yard in tents and stuff like that.
Okay, was that at the Ramada or is that?
I think so. Yeah, it wasn't the Marriott. It was Ramada's probably what it was.
Okay.
There was a guy who had a just perfect sphere perched on the end of an epidote crystal, and I was just like, "Oh, that's amazing!"
Right.
Love the texturing on the Prehnites from here, the euhedral shape of the epidotes, and just the contrast of the two forms with the round and the more angular is great.
Right. And
the colors can be complementary as well. You're actually seeing a lot of good green in this one. A lot of the times those are really blackish.
Right.
So great specimens. I love these.
Yep. Super piece. Go back to the still picture. There we go.
There we go.
A few of these, the ones on the, just for full credit, on the gray background were shot by IFM, Will and Dustin Suits. They work with us here, do a lot of the photography for our website. A couple of them I shot. The ones on the black background are the ones I shot. So
Nice.
Anyway, we want to make sure we give them a proper shout out. And today, for this specimen, $385.
Very nice.
Yep. So super piece. You can't beat the price. Like Christopher was saying, this is like an Insta collection, especially once you see the last 2 pieces. You could easily just buy them all. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we can't do the Steve discount anymore now that we don't own these.
Yes.
So they're all on consignment to us. So unfortunately, the price is the price. So.
Yep. And that's actually a better deal than I got on the one that I bought back in 2017. So that's a really good deal.
Wow, gotcha. Yep. We are here for you. Specimen number 5.
Ooh, yeah.
Everybody loves Kelly Mine Smithsonite.
Everybody loves Kelly Mine Specimite. Socorro County, New Mexico is where the Kelly Mine is located. 7.5, 7 by 6 centimeters, and so again, these all look great next to each other. We're moving into a little bit more of that icy blue end of the color spectrum, and smithsonites, if you haven't seen them in person, one of the things that is so hard to to convey in a still photograph or even on a video is just the way that light scintillates off the surface of these. The luster on smithsonites is just absolutely amazing. The color range on them is great. The botryoidal forms, the crystallinity you get, and I love it when they have that contrasting matrix.
Yeah, for sure.
Peeking through there as well. But yeah, the luster and the color is just they're a favorite with a lot of collectors.
Wow. But this may be a first today on Minerals Live. The word scintillates. Nice use.
The way that light moves.
Yes, indeed. No, this is a great piece, and it's a good sized piece. And if folks, when you see the price, you're going to be ringing the phone for sure.
Well, we usually do these on Wednesday. You gave me until Friday, so I was able to look up big words.
Yeah, there you go. Using a thesaurus and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Yep, there we go. Here's the price.
Well, the thesaurus would have been for the fossil show.
That's well. Okay. Anywho, this is ridiculous, folks. $350 for this. This is you just can't beat it.
So, and to give you an idea, I bought from a local collector when this was actually before I started collecting minerals. I got a Kelly Mine smithsonite that wasn't anywhere near as good as this one for $500 back in about 2013, or something like that, before I really started collecting. I would have seen this one and been like, oh man, what said about that?
Well, like I said, you still can give it a week and dive in. Anyway, we'll let this one go around one more time before we. I don't know how we're doing on time, but it seems to be doing all right.
Are you guys still out there?
Huh? Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
Ring that bell. Let us know.
There you go.
There.
Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Anyway. Yep. And
they don't know it's not live.
And this does, I believe, have a little calcite overgrowth. I don't think those are barites. Some of the Kelly mines have the little white barites as well, but I think those are calcites on it. But
now, Kelly mine, I know Ray mine, you get quartz druzy growth. Do you get that in Kelly mine?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
At least it's very uncommon if it happens. Last piece, last but not least, and it's not a sweet home roto, folks. I'm sorry.
Wow, that's weird.
Yeah. What, weird? That it's not a sweet home roto?
Yeah, that's like, man, that's been a long time since we've not ended on the red.
I know. I almost made the rhodonite the last piece, but I just didn't want to disrespect.
Now in the line though of red, so. We often end with a rhodochrosite at the end, and if you're missing that on this live call us, we'll be able to send you some pictures of ones you'll absolutely love.
Absolutely,
we don't want to deny you.
That's right.
But one of the things that's just so treasured about rhodochrosite is that it can be cherry red, and cherry red is just the hardest color to represent in a collection. Second to that, in my opinion, is pure yellow. Mm-hmm. And sulfur is one of the few pure yellows that you can get for your collection.
Mm-hmm. Super piece. Really clean. It's translucent.
Shows up really well. Mm-hmm. It's one of those specimens that somebody's, even at this size, which is the 6 by 6.5 by 6.5, even at that size, somebody's going to walk into your room and see that 2.3 centimeter crystal. As soon as they walk in the room, that's just going to grab their attention. They are just very, very bright pieces.
Right.
The only thing that I typically would not do with the sulfur is put it next to a silver.
Yeah, there is that. Anywho,
that was one of the first non-standard minerals I learned about was a camphite, which is silver sulfide, and actually did have a sulfur near a silver.
Okay,
it was silver jewelry, but
gotcha. Unless it's really a sealed system, it's not going to affect it too much.
Not really
I wouldn't worry about it too much.
For sure.
Yep. And this piece today is just $490. Another steal, in my opinion.
Nice.
Yep. So I think the selection on today's show is quite nice.
You covered a really great range of colors there. I think you were still thinking about all those bright colors from the China show.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Although I guess you were purpled out.
There wasn't a whole lot of purple minerals there. It was just that special exhibit hall, the Purple Nebula room there. It is quite fun. Anyway,
Oh,
it was just right across the entrance from us, so I had to look at that for 5 days.
So swinging back to that, they had that exhibit, and then they have the one area for the local collectors. So is it not quite as much as you would expect to see, like the Denver show and the Tucson show, where you have dozens, if not hundreds, of collectors doing displays throughout there? So they don't have as many private displays.
No, they don't. They're working on that.
Cool.
Developing that. But getting people to bring their things in, security, whatnot, they're just not quite there yet.
Understandable.
So, anyway, it's coming right along. They're really developing nicely. So
Very nice.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that brings us to the end of another edition of Minerals Live. We'll definitely try to do another one before you head out. You're going to go, you were talking about like the 5th of July, something like that?
Yeah, somewhere.
That's a Saturday, maybe the 7th actually. Or...
No, it's going to be after the 4th, basically usually the first Monday after the 4th of July is when I'd go out. And so I'm going to head up north, so I should be hitting Wisconsin and Michigan, and then go up over through the Midwest and the East Coast, and then finish up with Texas this time. So.
Nice.
Because who doesn't want to be in Texas close to August? So.
Oh, it's wonderful. Wonderful.
Oh,
weather.
my goodness.
So anyway.
It was a little damp in Texas this time, which is unusual when I was down there. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But, folks, if you like those specimens that you saw, just so you know, again, for those of you who are new, reach out to us at minerals@collectorsedge.com if you see anything that you want to get from our video here. We do it first come, first serve, so we'll look at that timestamp to see who gets it if there are multiple people calling about one. And if you'd like to be notified when these videos go live so you can pounce on those, subscribe, ring that little bell there, and you'll get notified when the video's out.
Absolutely, because these things get loaded into YouTube usually about a day. Sometimes in this case, it's going to be a weekend before the email notification goes out. So you definitely have an advantage if you are signed up subscriber to our channel.
For sure.
So definitely want to consider that. Anyway, thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.
And we will catch you again on the next edition of Minerals Live, probably in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
See you soon.
See you soon, everybody. Thanks. Let's go to this.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That thing is just stunning.